Wisdom. It's not something that can be bought. Some people have it in some areas and not in others. There are plenty of people who know how to make a lot of money and at the same time know how to destroy their families. Just because someone seems to do well, be successful in one area, doesn't mean they have overall wisdom, overall insight, overall capability. First of all, we need to be careful not to equate wisdom with a number of other things that often confuse people. First of all, wisdom does not equate with intelligence. So there are plenty of very intelligent people, high IQs, that lack any common sense. Intelligence is about potential. Intelligence does not dictate that that potential is realized or worked upon or added to. Also, we need to be careful not to equate wisdom with knowledge. Plenty of people have head knowledge about one thing or another, but don't know how to apply that knowledge. It's simply information. Also, education. Some folks think, I get a degree and, I'm good. Or folks who patronize certain businesses or practices thinking, well, these people are well educated, assume they have wisdom. Unfortunately, formal education just means formally passing exams. And some people are quite good at that, but not when it comes to applying that education to real life. Also, many people do not understand that experience is wisdom. There are lots of people who have lots of experience and they just keep making the same old mistakes over and over again. There's no wisdom. Plenty of experience. So intelligence, knowledge, education, even experience don't necessarily indicate that someone is wise or has wisdom. Often when we think of wisdom, the issue of Occam's razor comes up, and Occam's razor indicating that what seems to be the simplest, most straightforward answer is the best answer. And I would advocate that. So often we make things so much more complicated than they need to be. If you question that, all you need to do is look at the government and look at the tax system and think how you have to hire an accountant to wade through all the new tax laws when everything should be simply on one page and we should be able to do them by ourselves. Complications. Education does that too. Education does that same very thing, makes things more complicated often than they need to be. And that is part of wisdom, recognizing that the most complex, most expensive, most intricate solutions to life and everyday problems may well not represent the very best answers to those problems. Occam's razor. Occam's razor. So, we talked about what wisdom isn't. So what is wisdom? Well, it's really the application of all the above, or possibly the application of all the above. However, you don't have to have expertise in every area. You don't have to have a high IQ. You don't have to have all the knowledge that's written in every book. And you don't have to have a lot of degrees to have what we used to refer to as common sense. Common sense indicating, the ability to have insight, practicality, and an economy of approaching things in a simplistic way. Wisdom is the application of what I know, but also allowing insight, which involves looking at a deeper level, looking at other layers of the onion, just not what is superficial, what is presented to me in the news, for example, or by politicians or Washington. But looking underneath that, thinking, okay, this is what's been said. Could there be alternative motives behind this? Could there be other ways of interpreting the very data that they're giving us and giving us one explanation for? Insight, looking beneath what's on the surface. The other part of wisdom is also practicality, being able to discern what will work, what won't work, what is practical. Again, what is practical? There may be some solutions that appear just wonderfully. However, the amount of money, time, emotional cost, and so forth just negate the practicality of it. So sometimes what's perfect is not perfect in that it's too expensive, it is too impractical. So we have to settle for what is good, what is the best given our resources, and the ability to see that is wisdom. Foresight. That's another aspect of wisdom. If I do this today, what effects are going to reverberate through tomorrow and next month and possibly next year? This, of course, is very applicable thinking about business, thinking about families, and so much in between. The ability to anticipate outcomes, fallout, both positive and negative, when it comes to decisions, actions, that's wisdom. And as I was saying before, economy, thinking about what resources I have, how can I simplify things, and then how can I apply that in the best way possible. So wisdom on the surface is a very simple thing, but when we take a look at removing some of the layers of the onion, it's a little more complicated, and it takes more time. And unfortunately, it is countercultural, because we want instant oatmeal, we want instant burgers, we want instant credit, we want to buy things we can't afford, we want to say things out of impulse and out of emotion rather than computing the cost later on. Restraint is also part of wisdom, being able to restrain myself from giving in to my impulses, my ego, my emotions, because not only are those things going to affect me and what I'm going to have to deal with as a result of that, but also it's going to affect those I love, those I care about. And if I'm an employer, those that work for me. So being able to set aside pride, look objectively at situations is also part of wisdom. Being able to be objective saves a lot of agony, a lot of harm, and a lot of time doing cleanup. So I just encourage you all, apply some wisdom. Think about what we've discussed today. Think about what you do that's strength for you with regard to applying wisdom. Think what you don't do that you need to do so that you can apply more wisdom. It will save you a lot of aggravation and a lot of time not needing to scoop up poop.